109. Today we're going to learn that Brian takes his birthdays off, right? And we're going to also talk about real estate video content that actually converts. We're going to get started right now.
Welcome to the only real estate podcast worth listening to with your hosts Nick Good, Matt Kelderman, and Brian Force. Combined, they have 26 years of experience and have sold over 1,500 homes. Join them each week as they bring you everything you need to know about real estate. And now, here are your hosts, Nick, Matt, and Brian.
Today we are going to be sharing, right? Episode 109, we're going to be sharing. You're just pointing at me.
I love how Nick just dives into it. Doesn't even need the intro to be over.
No, like it already started. So episode 109, we're going to be talking about real estate video content that actually converts. We've got Mike Cuevas on, the real estate marketing dude. Today's show is brought to you by our two lovely sponsors, Sphere Rocket, VA. You want to leverage out your business. You want to keep your labor costs low. Talk with Justin Nelson over at Sphere Rocket VA. Go get you one of his $3.50 an hour virtual assistants. He'll hook you up. Tell him the guys over at the only real estate podcast worth listening to sent you. And as well as Mortgage Mike, Michael DeBacker. If you're a real estate agent here in Texas, or you've got clients relocating to Texas, and you are needing a competent lender that actually gets the job done. He's got this guarantee, by the way. Mm-hmm. We need to have some type of formal ad so I can learn more about this $5,000 buyer guarantee or whatever it is. Go talk with Michael DeBacker, mortgagemikeoftexas.com. So we've got, you want to bring him in, we've got Mike Cuevas on. So Mike used to own a brokerage years ago in Chicago, right? And I asked him for a bio. He's like, just take it off my website. So I'm kind of paraphrasing here.
Very Chicago of him. I love
it. So I'm kind of paraphrasing here. So he wanted to offer his agents something that no other brokerage could offer. So he developed some different lead generation systems, began to share them with those agents. Then he started hosting training events for free, sharing his expertise. And it was on accident that the marketing dude position was born. He didn't realize that there was a huge need in this industry for that. And he doesn't just teach you how to generate leads. He teaches you how to generate the attention of your database. And that's where over 60% of your business comes from anyway. So Mike, welcome, man.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, brother. Good to finally have you on for sure.
Yeah. So I hear we're going to talk about some video shit today.
I hope so. Yeah. I'm going to listen to you talk about some video shit today. I'm always here to learn.
We know nothing in video.
Well, where would you like to start?
Man, let's I want to break down a little bit. You started out the brokerage in Chicago, right? You and I have been friends on Facebook for a long time. In fact, you're helping out a former or a colleague of ours here in the Dallas area. And I saw that I've been watching your video stuff for a long time, right? So I'm definitely interested to see what has evolved and what's really working now, because you've got some methods to your madness.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a lot simpler than I think a lot of people think. The method is attention, and I think real estate is nothing more than a giant popularity contest, and you either have it or you don't. And those who do are the ones who just generate the most business. So let's phrase it in a different way to people so that they understand. I want all you guys who are listening to the show, look in your office right now, and there's someone there you can't fucking stand, and you're like, how the hell is this dude like selling more houses than me? Like they're dumb as a rock. They don't know what they're doing. They've sold 4 houses, but they're crushing it. What are they doing that I'm not?
They might even be at this table.
Yeah. They have more attention than you do. They're not better than you. They're just more popular. More people know that they're in real estate than know that you're in real estate. So What I've never understood in the business is why so many real estate agents, and I blame the fucking gurus for this, but why so many real estate agents are chasing a bunch of strangers instead of first staying in front of the people that they already know, like, and trust. Because the truth is that over 80% of business comes from the people we already know, not a bunch of strangers. Sure. So for me to go ahead and start marketing a bunch of people I don't even know is literally like me trying to blow up my business and fail at first, because it'd be no different than if I sold tacos, me trying to sell my tacos to a bunch of people who don't eat meat. That's the same shit we're talking about.
It's like trying to become popular at a high school you're not going to.
Right. Like in high school, perfect example. So in high school, I used to have all the parties. College too, I used to have all the keggers. I was really popular. I always had a lot of friends in college and in high school. And it was because I had the attention. I was the guy that was always throwing the parties. I was the guy that was always throwing the ravers. And in exchange, I never had a problem finding a date. So the point is that attention, we don't focus on it enough. And video isn't lead generation, it's impact.
Sure.
People are like, oh, video. There's not a single video that you're going to do that is going to lead to a lot of business. The video that's going to lead to a lot of business is the one you smiling in it, because that's what's going to bring, when people see you authentically, that's when you actually start attracting.
Sure.
But the formula is very simple. Consistent communication to the same audience over time attracts business. Every day. How many times have you guys had people on the show be like, oh, I logged on to Facebook and then my best friend just sold his house without me. The fucker forgot I was in real estate.
Oh, it happens all the time.
It's not your best friend's job to remember you're in damn real estate. It's your job to remind him to. So next time that happens, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, honestly, quit calling your friend a dick and start looking at yourself and being like, dude, why the fuck do my friends not know what I do for a living? That's called introspect. Like, you got to look at your own shit and be honest with yourself, because at the end of the day, it's a popularity contest. And if you're not marketing the people you already know, I could promise you somebody else is. You could walk down the street and flip over and step over 4 real estate agents, mortgage brokers, and investors. And there's no problem. But what's the difference between you and them? And that's the key. See, when people hire us, it's not because we sell real estate. It's because of how we sell real estate. Sure. I'm going to detract doctors, attorneys, or anyone with a tie. The only reason I'm fucking wearing a shirt right now with a collar on is because I'm shooting a video after this to make fun of other things. Otherwise, I'd be wearing a t-shirt. But I'm creating a video to generate attention so I can retarget that attention. And I'm always just about attention. And as long as you have it, you attract. So video isn't lead gen. Video is attention. It's a communication strategy. And it just happens to be the one that people take most attention with.
Sure. First of all, I love where this conversation is going.
I was planning on mailing it in today. I'm sitting up now. I'm like, we're getting ready to go.
Attention. I love it. I love this idea, though, that, and I hope people that are close to me that sit in this studio that shoot video all the time and spend so much time thinking about it and trying to make it perfect. And I swear, if somebody schedules one more thing on my calendar to do a video strategy session, I'm going to lose my mind, right? And I don't say that those things aren't meaningful, especially if you have kind of a bigger type of project you're working on. But why is it that we think that we have to show everybody how good we are at selling real estate in our video content? Understand that by default, you being in real estate, like, the general public doesn't sit there and think about how good every real estate agent is all the time. They think about who is the real estate agent that they know. And so when we try to convey all of these different things through video, how about just visibility? Just get out there, man.
That's all it is.
People want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And they're like, yes, this is going to be hurtful to some people. If your friends are buying homes with someone else and you're not in front of them enough, that is super your fault, not theirs. Like, This is like, we see this on Facebook groups and stuff all the time. Like, I just found out my friend bought, what should I say? Like, well, like, you should probably think about how good of a friend you are. Like,
they go, should I defriend them? Should I not talk to them anymore? I'm like, no, you need to talk to them for
forgetting about you when you didn't do anything to make them remember, you know?
You're not talking to them enough. That's why they hired another one. Here's a good example to answer that question. So every year, I'm not licensed anymore. I'm getting my license back. Just because I'm a starting team here in San Diego.
Nice.
But every year I would lose. Everyone does. This just happens. Everyone, no matter how much content you create, you're going to lose a deal or two to little cousin Billy, the little prick who just gets his license.
Hate that.
Or you lose it to Aunt Susie, the agent that's been doing it for 40 years. Like, she doesn't even know how to log on the MLS or make a post on Facebook, but she still gets the deal. Well, the question is why is that? It's because blood is thicker than water. Those people have a way stronger relationship with the buyer or seller than you do.
Yep.
And that just shows you what people really value when they're making the largest purchase or sale of their life, which is a relationship. So ultimately, they just want to feel comfortable with it. And the problem the public has is they think we all offer the same level of service.
Sure.
You have a real estate license. Your license allows you to collect money legally. It doesn't make you a better agent. But the public thinks we all offer the same level of service, which is why branding is so important. So, again, that's why it comes down to attention. 85 or is it 88% of people close with the first agent they met with? Like, hello. Like, the writing's on the wall. The stats are there, you guys. It's just a matter of who you're putting your message in front of. So
100%.
Don't overthink this. You just have to do it and take action. To answer your question about perfection, it doesn't exist unless you're God, and no one is. So the truth is that the videos, one of the best videos I saw was one of our clients with the hair rollers in her hair. And that's how she opened up the attention getter. And there's a reason she got 5,000 organic views on Facebook for that. It's because she was being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And she wasn't being perfect. And I want you guys to go look. Like, I'd rather fart on camera than try to be someone I'm not. I'll get way more engagement farting than faking a bunch of bullshit.
So true.
I think that's one of the things too that we've told people forever. I live my life pretty transparently on Facebook and share a lot of stuff about my kid, things that are going on in my personal life, and really honestly share very little real estate content that's look at me and look at what I just sold, right? Even the videos that we're doing with clients and testimonials, it's all about celebrating their success, right? And showing how they got a win through, like you're talking about, showing how I'm a good agent through the fact that I help them win in this difficult situation, because everybody does think all real estate agents are created equally. People understand I sell real estate from those posts. They're there in the first place to see me talk about my kid. I did a video last night where I showed his bedroom because Brian's mom did the interior design on it. And I was really excited and he was excited. Did like a 3.5 minute live Facebook video. Got tons of engagement and just brought people even deeper into my world, right? Then they see the real estate stuff and they're like, I want to work with that guy because I like him, his kid, and he happens to sell houses. So cool. And I think that's what a lot of people miss with the social media video part of all this stuff.
It's all story, not selling.
Yes, sir.
Solution versus sales. No, you're right. So let's talk about that. Story versus selling. Here's selling. Just listed, just sold.
Yeah.
Here's story. This young kid just got his brand new bedroom that he was sharing previously with his daughter, Chelsea. And guess what, Pops? He's no longer renting the house. He's actually owning, plus his payment's down $400 a month. Let me show you how.
People communicate in stories.
And then if you look at some of these posts, like I was on has Felix Hung been on the show?
No, but you should hook us up.
Yeah, for
sure.
He's
Felix Hung is he's an agent out of California, like Orange County, but he taught me some podcast. I had him on my show, and he taught me how he always does long form written content on all of his posts. And I did it for about a year. Now I'm just too lazy, but it works. And he tells a story about every single component that he does. And when you start posting long form, you're like, holy crap, people are actually reading the story. And the reason why we follow stories is really simple. It's just the way God made us. So if me and you were to go to Egypt today and we go into King Tut's cave, what the fuck's on the wall?
Hieroglyphics, I would assume.
What are those? Pictures?
Stories. Pictures, stories. They tell a story.
They're pictures because people perceive pictures and visual imagery a lot more impactful than they can read text. Sure. So the way God made us was to tell stories to others over time through visual imagery.
Yeah.
Right. So this is nothing new. It's been happening since King Tut was rolling around the earth.
Yeah.
So if you look at what that is really just on how people communicate. So when we look at video, it's the same thing. People, when you're communicating consistently with video, more people follow it in the form of a story that has a sales message.
That's 100% true. And like we kind of started talking about this by talking about our own databases as well, right? The bulk of our video content should be for the people that we already have relationships with us, know, like, and trust us, and we want to remind that we're in real estate, right? Like everybody who's over the age, I'll just kind of throw out a number. Let's just say over the age of 25. You've already met enough people in your life and developed enough relationships that you should be able to have a very successul real estate career just from your database, and then have structure and systems around how you generate new business. But think about it in terms of the other crazy things that if we were just as crazy with other things as we are with our marketing sometimes. Like imagine if you were going to dinner. Would you try to find the hungriest person in the world at that moment to go to dinner with you? Like, would you run ads to be like, well, this is you know what I mean? Or would you call one of your friends, whether or not you're sure they're hungry, because you don't really care about dinner. You care about hanging out with your friend. You know what I mean? But like when we create video or let's just say we do mailers, we run ads, we spend our money, you do all this type of stuff. We almost actively avoid deepening our relationships with our database, and video content is one of the easiest ways to do it for whatever strange reason. But we don't do that in any other place in our life. We don't try to find the drunkest person to go to the bar with. We go with our buddies. They might be the same person, I don't know, but we're not going with them because they're the drunkest. We're going because they're our friends, right? We don't do that in any place but our business.
Here's why I think is because we're taught to be salespeople, and it's just the way that most people are brought into the industry.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason 4 out of 5 fail, and it's because you're either chasing the wrong people or you're taught to do the wrong things, and it's a combination of both. But if I just started always talking about work with my best friends all the time, they would stop asking me to go to the bars and stop asking me to go to dinner. Doesn't mean I have to stop reminding them that I'm in real estate, because the people that we're closest with, our Facebook friends, our family, our aunts, uncles, fraternity brothers, whatever, people we worked with in the past, those are the people that are responsible for all of our business. But if we always talk to them like we're trying to sell them something, they're going to tune us out. So why don't we start reminding them instead, and help them refer you business? Statistically, 10 to 15% of the people who see your video content are moving this year. Most won't know it yet. Some are going to die. Some are going to freaking get divorced. Some are going to, have a kid like I just did. Some are going to, life happens, right? So you're going to get married. But that's a statistical, mathematical fact. I could look at content creation and actually mathematically determine how many people are moving just within my Facebook friend list, because these stats haven't changed for the last 10 years. I've been studying them. 10 to 15% of the population moves each and every year. That means 10 to 15% of the people who see my content move each and every year. I don't know if they're going to be buying or renting, but fuck, I want to get that damn call. However, that's not the main reason why I'm marketing them. I'm marketing them because 100% of them have the ability to refer me one deal this year. And in a business that has over 50 to 60% referral rate, that's the number one source of lead generation. So if you don't empower your database to refer you business, you're fucked. You're out of business, dude. That's just what it is. Yep. So farm your database. Don't farm your relation. Don't farm a bunch of strangers. Farm your database with content in multiple channels and watch what happens, because they're going to use somebody. And for the people that say, hey, I can't get on video because I have a face made for radio, well, I'll challenge you with this. If you believe you're the right person for the job, like which agent says I'm not the right person for the job ever? And if you say you're not, you don't deserve the fucking listing to begin with. Sure. But if you believe you're the right person for the job, it becomes your damn obligation to tell the world about it. So therefore, you should never be scared to go on video. Otherwise, you're not the right person for the job.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Now Mike, let's go with this, right? The roadblocks though, right? Because we're trying to call, we're trying to text, we're trying to lead generate, and the roadblocks come up of I don't look good on video, I don't like the way that my voice sounds. What kind of equipment do I use? Where do I distribute it? What platform do I put it on? What email marketing service do I use? So what kind of advice do you have for those agents? Because that's what everyone's holding back on. They should be doing video. They all have probably an iPhone and Android, right? So what else is holding them back?
It's new. That's it. It's not hard. It's new. Just like when short sales came around. In short sales days, 2007, 2008, we had the best years of our career ever because we readjusted. I had to learn loss mitigation. I had to learn short sales. I had to build a new short sale. This is a business, you guys, that you're going to unfortunately have to work as the market changes, because it doesn't always stay the same, and the market works in cycles. And we're about to get a correction, whether people want to agree with me or not. It's going to happen. It's impossible at this level of inflation. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the market's going to change, but your messaging needs to change with it. When it does. So I'll give you a good example of short sales. It's like, it's no differently than what video is today. I wasn't born and I knew how to do video like instantly. Who is? No, I went out and learned it because I saw the opportunity, but you have to be willing to learn. And if you are, it's just like anything else. So imagine, people always like, oh, well, it's too much work. Dude, I remember I went on my first listing presentation. I was scared shitless, but I didn't put my listing presentation till the night before.
Really?
Yeah, I never had it. Why do I need it? I didn't need it until then. Sure. Then when I actually need it, then I boom. So for you guys, like we're telling you, video right now, I think it's a market share thing, because once you own that network and that database, it just always works. The only time it doesn't work, you guys, is when people don't like you, and that's nothing anyone can help you with, and you're going to fall out of the business naturally. I mean,
it's empirically a market share thing. There's only so many eyeballs and so many hours in the day, right? So if you're not putting content out there consistently, somebody else is, and there's only so much time to watch video.
Well, and look, if you need some, just like we've got some great sponsors like, Sphere Rocket VA and Mortgage Mike. If you go to realestatemarketingdude.com, I just pulled it up, right? So I just pulled up your site, Mike, and it's immediately pops up in the Learning Center, 7 real estate videos that convert leads into clients. All right. Mm-hmm. How about this creates referrals, how to market to your database with video. So, I mean, it's already out there. It's just ripping off and duplicating what people are doing. And then if you need that, we all know how to work out. We all have, at least us two.
Nick doesn't do leg day, but
I don't do leg day.
Oh, you got those chicken legs?
No, his legs are still good. He just doesn't. He's just like squats are stupid.
Yeah, I do the Stairmaster.
He's a chest guy.
That's fucking not leg day.
Bullshit. The Stairmaster is murder.
It's
fucking
cardio. It doesn't work your legs, bro.
This coming from the guy who could run all day long, though. He's just like, whatever. I'm dead on the Stairmaster in 4.5 minutes.
I'm not saying it's not hard. It's
new
cardio.
video content of us just spitting out shit on the Stairmaster. Next podcast. There you go. But so let's. There was something that you brought up, and I read it on your site, or maybe watched one of your videos, that you've got a specific outline when not just on not just creating the video, but how you distribute it and how it stays in front of people. Would you be willing to share that?
Yeah, of course. So when you're doing video consistently, here's the easiest way I like to explain it with people. We're on a podcast right now, right? Mm-hmm. When you guys started this podcast, this is a form of media. And first thing you did when you created the podcast is you created a name for the show, right?
After many White Claws, yes, this is what we came up with.
So you get the show, then you came up with the publishing schedule, right? Well, you're creating a form of media that's just audio. It's not video. We're doing video with it, but it's a podcast is audio with video and whatnot. It's a piece of long form content. Right. Now, a podcast for a local real estate agent is very tough because real estate, no one wants to talk about it until they're in the market to buy or sell. So it's very hard to get legs with that. However, the same concept with the video series for a real estate agent is very easy because it puts your face and your personality in front of people. So in concept, it's the exact same thing. It's a form of media that you're creating over time. And once you create a show, the show will dictate how you create your content. So for example, let's use the military guy. The scripts are the same regardless of where we're at. People are like, how do I say it? People only forget what to say because they don't know what they stand for. Once you do, it's so easy to create content. So where it starts is by who do you serve? Who are the last 10 clients? Average them. What do you do on the weekends? So I'll take a military guy, for example, Joe McIntosh. Joe, if you're listening to this, this is for you. We create a show for him in San Diego called San Diego Salute. Why? Because he was a veteran. So if he wants to do business owner interviews, he's doing them in veteran-owned businesses only, or businesses that support veteran causes. If he's doing neighborhood tours, he's scripting them the vicinity near base. If he's doing a buyer boot camp or a seller boot camp talking about real estate content. The point is that you have to script through your personality, and then you become a storyteller. Another example of that would be in Chicago. When I was selling, I used to live downtown Chicago, like where all the clubs and all that fun stuff was at. And before I had kids, I would do a neighborhood tour, say in like River North. I'm focusing on the hot chicks, the swanky restaurants, and the clubs. Well, today that very same neighborhood tour for me is focused on the parks, the schools, and the kid-friendly restaurants. Yep. So you have to speak right at your brand, and it's always a spitting image of what you do when no one's looking.
Good specific point.
It doesn't matter what you talk about because real estate agents think they have to talk about real estate, but where they don't see is that we don't sell real estate. We sell the communities the real estate reside in. So when you position yourself as a tour guide, it does the trick every time.
We know the local strip clubs around there, Matt.
Right. Yeah. No.
Dude, one of the best branding I've ever seen. I wish I still had her name. This is a real estate agent in Vegas that serviced the stripper and the community. You should have saw her website. It was amazing. She was in a G-string. It just says, I serve the adult entertainment industry.
100%, dude. It's a good
fucking crushing
there, man. These people got all sorts of cash under the table, man. Absolutely.
I think you hit on something else that real estate agents tend to do, and you do this a lot when you're new, is you just scatter shoot, right? Like you take all comers. I did this when I was new. It was like you couldn't find a house far enough away that I wouldn't drive to if you were pre-qualified because I just needed business, right? Sure. Yep. And that's a failing Formula One because there's just no way to actually hone in any type of real skill when you're just taking people from all over the place. But it also completely negates the mindset of what you're talking about, that diving deeper with fewer people is actually a way more effective to build a fun, efficient business that you want to work in, as opposed to, hey, this guy's got a pulse and a pre-qualification letter, so I'm driving 2 hours to sell him a house. Right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
There's only two ways we differentiate. One's through brand, others through offer. So through brand, there's a reason why people work with like people, right? Like in Chicago's a very demographically separated and ethnically even market. Sure. Like you have the Hispanic, the Mexican. My people live on the Southwest side, right? Well, it just so happens that Hispanic people buying a house tend to hire a Hispanic real estate agent. And it's not because they're racist. It's because it's who they feel comfortable with. Sure. They speak the same damn language.
Yeah.
Right. So like I started looking at all my clients and I'm like, dude, why am I drinking beers with all these guys? And like, why am I hanging out with them? And that's how I came up with my Chicago real estate dude brand. Was I'm like, dude, I'm just a dude. I attract other dudes. So it's a lot easier for me to be myself and scream it from the rooftops because the Chicago real estate dude got a lot more attention than Mike Cuevas. And my same brand today is I'm not selling houses, I'm selling video services. So I'm a real estate marketing dude. If I start insurance, I'm an insurance dude. Whatever it is, I know what my personal brand is and I know how I roll. And once you can figure that out, the way you speak, you won't get shy about what you say, but more importantly, you'll say it in your own way naturally.
That's what happens is if you're being yourself, it's similar to what they tell you when you're doing like your disc test when you get hired with Keller Williams. Yeah. If you're operating in your natural state, Correct. You're absolutely going to be the most effective version of yourself. It's not that you can't operate in another one. It's just that it's exhausting. It's unsustainable. And to people who are really paying attention, it's going to come across as disingenuous. Yeah. And the great thing about being yourself is like, look, you cuss, we cuss. If you don't like cussing, you're probably going to opt out of our shit. Yeah. Right. And that's okay.
It's not that
it's not that I want to offend you, but at the same time,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I'm just like, it's also
put him in the bathroom.
If you're hyper offended by that, you're probably not going to work with me because you're not going to get to know and like me, which are the two things that happen before you trust me. Right. Sure. So we're not even going to get to that stage of the process. And I've said on this show a million times, I'm a high I. I don't get my soft little feelings hurt when you opt out of my content because you just go away quietly. So it also works out great for me because I don't have to deal with the personal rejection of it.
Yeah. Well, you hit it on the head. It's like when we try to resonate with all, we connect with none.
Exactly. Yes.
And there's no like the riches are always in the niches in business. There's not a shortage of clientele. Like last I checked, everyone lives somewhere. So it's one of the last, unless they live in a box, but you probably can't market them anyways because there's nowhere to reach them. So the point being is that like the business has always been right in front of us. And we don't need thousands of people to know who the hell we are. We need hundreds. We don't need a large audience. We need an engaged one. And the only way you get that is through consistent content creation.
Yeah. Let's walk through the step. Let's go through step one. Is it identifying that niche, identifying your message? If you were to talk with the people that are still struggling with those roadblocks, because I know that the majority of agents that I talk with, that's what they struggle with. So step one, step two,
step three. Let's do you. I got your branding right there. Okay, so let's do Nick. Okay. You guys are in Texas. What the hell's the name of my show? Well, it's called The Good Life.
It is called The Good Life, isn't it?
It's fucking great.
I love it.
I have a show called The Real Estate Goods.
That's good. Dumb as hell. It should be The Good Life.
But The Good Life is, I'm always afraid of copyright.
No, but see, here's the thing is, it might tell me like why we sit here and just beat up on Nick because you focused on him and I don't want you to focus on me. But if we're talking about that though, the obvious problem with the Nick's title is that it immediately pigeonholes him into talking about real estate. The Good Life allows him to talk about everything they're doing, the lake house, all these amazing experiences they're having, and real estate will get worked in there naturally because that's just what he does.
Imagine his attention getter now, just because he has a show, because the attention getter is the most important part. Like 75% of people are going to tune in or tune out based on the first 8 seconds. So if he's doing The Good Life, now I know how to script every single one of them. And it's probably somewhere around the terms of like, let's pretend this is a coffee cup. Let's pretend I'm cool and it's a beer. Like, probably experiencing whatever he's about to tell us in the beginning. So if I'm at a brewery, be like, that's good. That's it. That's my attention getter. And then I'm cutting right back into The Good Life. But you're talking about The Good Life, but in your name, it's part of your name. So it's great. We have a gal in Inland Empire that she just came on board and she's her name's Sunny and she's very happy. Like she's like the happiest person in the world. Like even when you talk to her, she's like, "Hey Mike, how are you?" I'm like, "Dude, are you ever fucking mad? Your name is Sunny. Like this is great." So the name of her show is called Sunny Side Up. It's about the bright side of living in the Inland Empire.
That's awesome.
I like it, dude.
See, people remember how you do it, not what. And when you can create attention with the how, you always will have that attention.
I love it.
It's funny because every once in a while we'll have a guest on where they just kind of reinforce so many things that we're already doing.
Anytime you hear the three of us go silent for 2 or 3 straight seconds, because we're reflecting on all the truth that someone's saying, that we're like,
either that or it's going really bad, which is not the case.
It's not the case today.
I think I just got 3 more clients. What the fuck?
Well, the cool thing about it is that this is something that I think we, some years ago, somebody told me 5% of real estate agents are actually doing video. I'm sure the numbers went up with TikTok and other platforms to do stuff on. But I still think, back to your point earlier, there's still such a small amount of people doing this that even if you started today, and again, we say that if you go look at any of our content, even the beginning of this podcast, or even go back a year and a half ago, it doesn't look the same as it looks now. It was very slapped together. People get so caught up in the idea that it has to look a certain way or they have to have a certain message. I would encourage you just to get started. Just get started doing anything that has to do with not real estate, but just pulling people into your world. And over time, what'll happen is you'll look up 6 months from now and you won't realize you've been doing it for 6 months. And people will start. This happens to me all the time. People come up to my kid because they see him in these videos and they think he's the most gregarious kid in the world who's going to be wanting to play with them and do all this stuff because that's who I put on social media. He is the most shy person who hides behind my legs and will just make you feel like an idiot trying to pull him out for a conversation for like 2 hours.
He still won't talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, these dudes hang out with him all the time and he still won't talk to him, right? But everybody who sees my kid and sees the way we interact absolutely loves that, right? So I know that not from an engagement standpoint, but I know that there's a way for me to connect with people through me being a father and doing all those types of things. That is something very easy that I think 90% of the people in the world have something like that.
Your show name is called Dad Knows Best.
See, man.
And it's about kid-friendly restaurants, kid-friendly businesses. You could go to parks. You could teach your kid about real estate, and that'd be a lot more important and a lot more sung on. There's a really good video where there's this dude, this black guy. He's awesome. And he's with his daughter. She's like 2-3 years old. And he comes out there and he's like, listen, this is what I teach my daughter every day. He goes, and he has her recite these affirmations after him. And the video went viral. Because he's like, I am a strong, independent woman. I am fearless. I am this. And like that video went viral because this little cute, adorable girl is just, is just authentic. Like there's no production value behind that. Right. But you could easily create. That's what people want, is they want authenticity. Nobody wants to be sold to anymore. And you don't have to sell them is the good thing. But you do have to, they should, and they need to know what you do for a living, because you have to become more referable. And you're just not, like, people don't think about you all the time. Sorry.
No,
you're not that cool.
Yeah. It goes back to what Kelvin was saying before, there's a lot of mindset stuff around like, but everybody's doing video now. I'm late to the game. Like we get in this mindset where like, we're trying to attract people that don't already know us, right? Like unless people think you have vanished off the face of the earth, your core audience getting started in video is everybody that already knows you, but maybe you shouldn't hold liable for thinking and remembering that you're in real estate. Get out there, because dude, if you get 100 fucking views on a video, 15 of those people are moving statistically, apparently. So
correct.
That's a pretty low barometer for exposure.
Well, let's just compare. This is good. So compare lead generation, right? What are we really buying? Like, let's say I want to go sign up with Zillow. Fuck you, Zillow. Say I want to sign up with Zillow. All right. So I sign up with Zillow. And what am I really buying is I'm buying conversations.
Yes. Contact information.
Because it's just conversations about people who are inquiring with questions about real estate, right? Sure. Well, when I'm creating content, I'm still having conversations. I'm just having them in a different way. Because what happens is when you start creating content, you put yourself at the center of attention, and conversations you never had start to occur. So, for example, mortgage broker, guy's done 3 freaking videos. He's in Worcester, Boston. It's like outside of Boston, or Worcester, Massachusetts. He's like outside of Boston, 45 minutes away, sort of a good old boys network, smaller town. Dude's done 4 videos. He's like walking around town. People are walking up to him because he's sticking out like a sore thumb. But it was interesting what he told me. He's like, dude, I can't tell you how many damn people I've had like DM me on Instagram and like Facebook. He goes, as a matter of fact, like my soccer coach from high school, I haven't talked to the guy in 15 years. I hate him. I can't stand the soccer coach. This guy just calls me and I had a conversation. So here's the key though. It's not that you're going to have more conversations. It's what you do with those conversations. And that's an opportunity for you to build your list. You want a friend them on Facebook. You 2, get them on their email address. And if you could get their direct mail at the same time, great, because you have to continue to farm them with content. throughout life. As long as you do, it's not a matter of time until they move or if they move. It's a matter of when they move. Yeah. Look at your market. My city in Chicago was 3 to 5 years. Therefore, I can look at my friends, Facebook friends, and determine how many people were going to move, and it's always right on. You could do that with anybody. So I always like looking at some size of someone's network and their database. Sure. And within it, you know how many people are moving. The question really just comes to, are they going to use you or refer you or not? And when they like you, just like little Billy, who doesn't know shit about real estate, you'll get the fucking deal.
It's super true. You mentioned earlier briefly about building an audience and retargeting it. What does that look like for you in your world structurally? Because this is where the possibilities become endless as far as omnipresence and staying in front of people. But I think it's something that.
Why don't you go ahead and click on my website and find out?
Dare.
But,
I will.
So it's you have to be everywhere all the time. It's a really busy world, you know.
Sure.
Like I don't know where I read this, but it's a good analogy, and it was some book. But basically, like our world is like Times Square. There's like hundreds of advertisements and messages, and I forget what the number is and how many things were sold on a daily basis, but it's like hundreds of thousands. It's like a ton. Yeah. So it's not on everyone selling something. What I'm selling is attention. So I don't really care about products or service because I just know that with attention, you're just going to naturally have to attract. But it builds the damn audience over time is the only thing. And why I say it works is just keep focusing on building a larger network. Because people somehow think about, like, they come up and like, oh, dude, that guy's somebody.
So are you?
No, I'm not. I just shot 2 videos. I ain't shit.
Right?
The whole freaking world thinks you're like this inner celebrity. And here's what I think I don't know why this is, but here's why I think they really cheer you on and get behind you is because they respect the fact that you're hustling and you're fucking putting your shit out there.
Yeah, 100%. So, Mike, are you telling me that your advertising dollars would be better spent retargeting people that have already seen content that you've created rather than sending out like dumb fucking postcards or something like that so that you don't have to like get on camera and like do a bunch of stuff because you're afraid because you have limiting beliefs around it?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
You have to.
A lot of the real estate industry is going to be super turned off with that. They're going to be real upset.
Here's at the end of the day, it's not a matter of like if anymore. Like you have to, right? This isn't, beyond other realtor competitions. Like let's look at the big picture of things. Like you guys have iBuyers that got billions of dollars that are fucking drowning the airwaves, talking about how big of a waste of money you are. The only way you're going to combat that is through your personal brand. Ooh. Like you have to freaking go out and do all that. Like you cannot. What are they selling? They're selling like Zillow Offers isn't a cheaper way to sell a house. It's more expensive than hiring a real estate agent, but because they have brand, they got listings. And yeah,
I mean, if that's not the most perfect example we don't see it as content creation because we see it as like kind of corporatized. But if there's not a better argument for you to be creating content than the fact that we even have to compete with the likes of Zillow or Open Door when I can fundamentally pull up a PDF we created and show you on paper why it's more expensive to sell with them. They have made a brand around content creation and their content speaks the idea that it's more convenient to go with them. They would literally think about this. People would literally pay more money to a company that's not going to give them personalized service and probably not sell their home for as much or they're not going to net as much at the end of the day simply because they create more consistent and better content. It's fucking crazy.
Look at Josh Altman. You think he hasn't negotiated his listing fees? Do you think he prospects? No, he's got a personal brand.
I had dinner with Josh Altman one time and I paid. That's how good he is.
That's hilarious. We should
get that story off air. Yeah, I never heard that.
We got to restart this show and start it with that one. I don't have anything.
I know. I mean, the thing is, we're kind of winding down here, man. I mean, you're throwing out so much stuff to the point where, again, like I said, I very rarely go back and rewatch some of these, but I'm certainly going to on this one because there's a couple of things I know I didn't hear as well as I need to. What else do you want to throw out there that you think agents should know, man? Because I think you're just giving so much gold right now.
I think that you shouldn't overthink it. I think the entire business is personal brand. It's changed in the last 18 years. I started in real estate at 22. And at that time you did have to be with a big brokerage. Yeah. You did have to wear a suit and shit at least I did in downtown Chicago. But with social, Facebook wasn't really out at that time. And I think the fundamental shift that's happened is that the clients used to visit the brokerage first. And that's why we used to have floor time. today who has floor time. Like, I don't even know if that exists still. So what's the only thing, nothing's changed with how real estate's bought or sold. What's changed is how consumers choose their agent. So how they choose their agent is through what we're sharing with you today. It's not through lead generation, it's through brand. And 96% of them hire the consumers hire the realtor, not the EXP or Cole Banker or Keller Williams or whatever brokerage you hang your flag with. So that if you look at your advertising and you're marketing your brokerage's brand, what the fuck are you doing? You're not building your own. So you have to focus on your own, because your brokerage is only an environment to succeed, and it's not there to create business for you. You're there to create business. And what you have to realize off the bat is that you're a brand. People hire you, and that's the hardest part to start creating video. The reason is like we're human beings. Like, I'm not a brand, I'm just a human, dude. I'm a dad. I'm this, I'm that.
Businessman, isn't that Jay-Z?
It's hard to look at yourself as, that's the biggest problem agents have. And that's why we're shy to create content, because we can't envision ourselves as a brand. But you are the brand. And as soon as you embrace that, step 2 is figuring out what the hell you're going to do to remind people what's your brand, what is it? How do you create content? How do you get out in front of them? And then you just do it consistently. I mean, it's new, it's not hard, but there's plenty of resources. There's us. There's a company called Viral Marketing you guys can work with. There's all kinds of, there's local videographers. Like, there's all kinds of people that you can hire, or you can learn how to do it yourself, but it is no longer optional. So if my message is anything, your personal brand is your business. And if you don't have one, you're not going to have a business. And if you don't, you're going to be a salesperson chasing checks the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Mike, well, thank you for joining us today, guys. If this was gold, which I'm on it right now, I'm looking at scheduling a demo.
Nick's legitimately on his calendar right now, getting set up. I love it.
Go to realestatemarketingdude.com. You can look at strategy. You can schedule a strategy call with the dude, right? And if this was great today, if you really loved it, first off, tag an agent in this, share this out, go to iTunes, leave us a review. And then go support our sponsors, Justin Nelson with Sphere Rocket VA. You need to get some virtual assistants in your world. You want some leverage in your life. Go talk with him. And you need that lender that's actually going to get loans closed. Treat your clients like rock stars. Make you look great. You're going to get repeat and referral clients from it. Go to mortgagemikeoftexas.com, Michael DeBacker, and tell him the only real estate podcast worth listening sent you.
Mike, we appreciate you, my man. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, man. It was a blast.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully I was able to have some value, and appreciate you guys. Keep it up.
Man. We're going to have to grab a beer if we ever end up in the same city.
Sure.
Jesse.
Get us out of here.
Thanks for watching the show today. Make sure if you're watching this on Facebook, you head over to our group, the only real estate group worth being a part of, so you can watch the extended conversation. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you listen on the Apple Podcast, leave us a review. We'd really like it. So just do it. Do it. Do that over there. Go to this one. Then go to that one. Thanks.